Hi guys, I've decided to start doing booktube videos instead of writing reviews, mostly because I spend all day looking at a computer screen using Microsoft Word, and I don't want to do that anymore when I have free time. So this is going to be my first video review of a book. The book is this one. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly, Moogavani Pillanagrovi, or The Ballad of Ontillu by Kesava Reddy. This book was translated from Telugu by the author, and Oxford University Press India was very nice to give me a review copy of this short little novella. This is from the Oxford India Novella series, which translates short works in Indian languages into English. This one is 114 pages, so it's rather short, and a good thing about this series is they generally have very good introductions. This one has an introduction written by J.K. Snyder that does a very good job of placing this book in context in terms of the literary value. This book demonstrates how local myths are created, in terms of local myths about a certain place in a village or a certain rock or something. How these things take on stories which explain something about what you should do or what you shouldn't do around them. In this case, it's a certain field, and the story is about how it obtained the status in the village that it has obtained. So the main character of this story is named Reddy. He's a farmer, and he has recently had to sell his land due to some debts that he had incurred. Now, Reddy's family comes from a small village where everyone is farmers, and he himself is one of a long line of farmers, many generations that have worked on the same land. So losing this land has more than just the normal implications of now I don't have a place to work necessarily. It also takes away all of the social connections that he has built over the years and any sense of self that he had as a landowner in this village. This causes a mental breakdown for Reddy. Mostly because he can't understand who he can be without land and without having the identity of a farmer. And his friends try to help him, but there's not much they can do at that point because, it's his sense of self that he's lost. They try to include him, but he doesn't want to be included. Now, much of the marketing about this book says that it is about farmer suicides in India. Now, farmer suicides are a big issue right now. In fact, at this very moment, there are debates going on in the central government in India about how to deal with these farmer suicides. The statistics that I found for 2014 were that male farmers like Reddy make up 25% of the total population of India. And they make up 30.9% of the total suicides in India. Now, obviously that's not proportionate, so there's actually a much smaller amount of farmers committing suicide than there is of other people committing suicide. However, it is a major issue, and it's one that has been brought to light by many political parties, by the High Court in Tamil Nadu just in the last few days. And it's something that's very urgent and needs to be dealt with. Farmers are committing suicide, according to most reports, based on debts that they have incurred through various means, most important of which is the use of pesticides and fertilizers, which are very expensive, and which are necessary, they've been told, to increase their crop production. Then when they can't sell as much of the crops, or the crop prices go down, they lose money, obviously. So many farmers are in great debt because of these farming practices, and they commit suicide to escape these huge, problems that they have. Baki Reddy's problems are also caused by being in debt. His are not because of pesticides. His is for a different reason, and that's because of the time in which this is set, which is probably pre-Green Revolution in India. However, he is in debt, and because he's in debt, he has to sell his farm. And because he sells his farm, he has great mental issues, and it's the mental issues that actually cause his death in the end. And I'm not going to go into how he dies exactly, but I would say, from my perspective, that he didn't exactly commit suicide. So I would actually question the fact that this book has been described as a book about a farmer's suicide in India. I would actually say that it's about the issues that cause farmer suicides in India, but it's not about a suicide itself. This book does do a very good job of both promoting understanding of the issues that farmers are facing in India today, and in being just a very well written book that depicts the plight of the common man when beset by all of these terrible forces. It's also a good book about mental deterioration after a huge personal crisis. I highly recommend this book to anyone who is interested in anything that I just said. And I would like to thank Oxford again for sending me a review copy of this novel. Thank you, and I hope you subscribe to this channel and follow me on my blog as well.